walking back from dropping off a friend, and I didn't know it then, but my life was about to change forever. On March 4th at 7 p.m, I just dropped off one of my friends. I'd walked one of my friends home who lives close by, and I was walking home. Nothing really irregular happened. It was all I was just walking home. I wasn't doing anything. I was just walking home. And I had turned down my street, and I started to notice that someone was following me. I didn't know for sure, but I was wearing, mirrored sunglasses. So I took them off and I held them like here, so I could in the sunglasses I could kind of see behind me. So I saw, and it was this old, disheveled looking guy. He looked like he was either homeless, he looked like he might have been alcohol influenced. And yeah, I saw him, and he was behind me. He was about that far behind me, probably about that far. So I wanted to see if he was following me. If he wasn't, maybe I was just overreacting. I wasn't sure. So I sped up a little bit in my walk, just a little bit to see, and I noticed he sped up too, just as much as I was, so he was still the same distance. So at that point, I was really, 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 really scared. And so my mama told me that she was showering, because I texted her once I dropped my friend off, and she said, oh, okay, I'm about to get in the shower. So she was showering. My dad was in Sydney. He wasn't in Melbourne where we live. And my sister was at work. She works at Target, so she was at work. So all my family was really occupied. So I went into my phone, and my top, on my call list, it was one of my close friends. So for some reason, I was so scared, I didn't know what to do. I just called him. I called him, and he was on the phone, and I was like, I'll call him Tim. So I was on the phone with Tim, and I picked up the phone, and he said, hey, what's up? And I said, Tim, someone's following me. And he said he thought I was joking and playing a prank, because I would have probably too. But I said, no, Tim, I'm being dead ass serious. Someone is following me behind me. And I think at that point he kind of heard in my voice that I was telling the truth. I was really, really fearful. And he said, okay. And he was really good about it. Honestly, I don't know if I would have gotten through that without him, because it was really scary, and I've never talked about it. Since the day that it happened, I haven't talked about it. And every time my parents try to bring it up or something, I don't want to talk about it, because was one of the hardest days of my life. So I was on the phone with him, and he said to me, alright, I don't want you to speed up, I don't want you to do anything like that, but go and cross the road. Because I was on my street, I was on my house's side, I was in my street. And I was like, okay. So I went and I was walking slowly, normal pace, and I crossed the road. And so did this man. And Tim said to me, did he cross the road? And I said, yeah, he's crossing the road. So then, like, he knew it was really serious, and so did I. So I was starting to, I'd gone past my house. I'd just gone past my house. I was so scared, and I started to speed up a little bit, and then I crossed the road again, and as did he, and he sped up with me, and I was walking, I'd passed my house, but I was walking on my house's side back to my house. And he was there, and he was coming, and I was on the phone with Tim, and I was really scared. I just remember saying, I'm really, really scared, and I could hear it in his voice. He was too. I need a bit. I just need a second. So I was on my street side, and I was coming back, and I started running. I was 2 houses away from my house. I just started running. I remember running and screaming. I don't know how my whole street didn't hear me. I was screaming so loud. And he was running too, and I was so scared. I was so scared. And I got to my front gate. And I was lucky. Usually with our front gate, we lock it and then go, but when I was walking with my friend, thankfully I forgot to lock it. So I went to unlock it, but I felt the knob and it was already unlocked, so I just smashed past it, and this guy grabbed my wrist. He grabbed onto my wrist, this wrist, and he was like pulling at me. And I had my keys like wrapped around this finger, like the key ring there, and then like all the keys on like my palm. So when he was on this wrist, he was grabbing me, and I dropped my phone, and all I heard was Tim screaming my name. He was like, Xavier, Xavier, Xavier. But I couldn't even pay attention to that. But I remember hearing it, and he was like, this guy was grabbing my wrist so hard, and he was pulling me, and I had the keys around my palm, and I palmed this guy in the face with my keys, with all of the keys on my palm. So I palmed him, and he like went like, he didn't fall over, but he like kind of like stepped back with his hands on his face, and he let go of my wrist. I slammed my gate shut. I didn't lock it. I was running and unlocking. I've got my front gate, the second gate, and then my door. So I was like frantically unlocking my second gate, and I unlocked my door and it was open. And then I heard Tim screaming, "Xavier, Xavier, Xavier!" And that's what made me go get my phone, because my phone was at the front gate still, because I dropped it. So I ran, picked up my phone with him still on the phone. I got in, and he was still screaming, and I just remember saying, "I got in, I got home," and he was like, "Are you okay? Like, you scared me so much." And I was like, "I know, it was so scary." And I don't talk about it because it brings up so much for me. It was the worst thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life, and it was the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. And no one will truly understand what that feels like unless they're me. So after I got in, my friend Tim's mum was calling. My friend Tim said that his mum didn't believe him, but his mum called my mum anyway, and my mum had just gotten out of the shower, and she was like, I'd got in, and then she came down the stairs, and she said to me, "Xavier, I'll call Tim's mum, Jane. Jane just called me, and she just said that she like told me what happened." She's like, "Is this true, or are you lying?" And I said, and I just started crying, and I was like, "Mom, Mom," and she just came and she hugged me, and she said thanks to Jane, and they hung up the phone, and I said goodbye to Tim, and you know, I was scared, and my mum looked out the front door, the guy was gone. My mum called the police, and you know, she told them everything that happened, and they have been searching for the guy ever since, but they have not found him. Um, my mum called my dad. My dad was in a state of his own anyway, so it didn't seem like he cared that much, but I know that he did. And you know, that day was really hard for me, because after that, you know, I saw my sister, and my mum told my sister what happened, and my sister just hugged me, and I got home and I just started crying again, because something like that, it's not something that you can just get over. It's like, it's real life, you know? Like, it's something that actually happened, and it's something that happens. And you know, you always see, I know that people say this, but you always see that stuff on like the news and stuff, and you never think that it could happen to you, and then it does. And I don't know what would have happened if he had have gotten more of a hold of me. I don't know what he would have done. I don't know what would have happened to me, and I don't know if I would have been here right now. And it was so scary, because now, after that entire experience, I go out, I don't want to walk alone. I don't like walking at night. I make sure if I'm walking alone, I've got my phone on, and I'm either on the phone all the time when I'm walking, to friends, to family, and I'm just talking about our days and stuff, because I just want to make sure that someone's there just in case. And, you know, I have like that feeling like that it's gonna happen again. And you know, when stuff happens to people, they're like, "Oh, I never go back to that place. My place was my front gate, and my front gate is right there. I'm looking at it right now." And you can just never look at like things like that the same. And I never talked about it on here. I never talk about it with my family. Most of my family doesn't even know. They'll probably find out this way, because I never wanted to talk about it, because I never wanted to bring it up, because it just makes me so sad, and it makes me so sick. It's something that I'll never fully recover from, and it's something that I'll never get over, and something that has truly changed me and my life forever, and how I look at the world and how I go about things. As I said, I don't like walking alone. I rarely walk alone. I am always on the phone. I'm like this, that, and everything, and it's just changed me, because usually I would walk by myself. I would do things by myself. I wouldn't be on the phone all the time. If anything, I would avoid calls and just want to walk and whatever. And now I can't do that because I get so scared and filled with anxiety inside that I just can't. I can't. It's truly, as it says, it's truly the day that changed me.